Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Astartes Anonymous podcast. Today, we're going to look at some of the best sites to buy third-party bits and models for your Warhammer 40k miniatures and armies. We plan to turn this into a recurring theme, since there are some exceptional people creating third-party bits and minis that we couldn't possibly hope to fit all into one episode. So, without further ado, I am once more trapped in a steel container with an angry Night Lord and a super buff grot. However, sadly, our smelly, Nurgle-worshipping pet idiot forgot to bring his laptop home with him today, so we'll be missing him for this episode. I'm your host, Tom, and these are my co-hosts.
Hello everyone, my name is Lucas, or better known as Moots.
Hello, I'm Red. I have nothing clever to say right now.
Thank you.
So, how are we doing today? Let's talk about some models of the week. I don't know why I started that way, but it's going in. Don't delete the Tom.
I'm not doing good, man. Honestly.
Why aren't you doing good, Red? Why are you suffering?
I don't know. I just feel like that's the response that he needs.
Oh, okay.
I'm feeling a bit sus right now.
Well, I'm doing okay, Moots. I'm doing good.
Well,
You won't be doing good for too long.
Why?
Don't worry about it. Just check your mail today, alright?
Jesus Christ.
Oh no. This box is oddly pipe bomb shaped. Red, what the fuck
Don't worry
is this?
about it.
Right, I'll open that after the episode.
Alright, great. Yeah, we want to keep you alive for this one. So anyways, maybe something that will cheer you up then, Red, is these wonderful miniatures of the week that we have this time around. And for starters, we have Wild Bilbo's Sentinel, a wonderful crustaceous bastard that I mean, honestly, it's just wonderful, and the kit bashing, the painting, everything, the base, is super nice.
It's quite interesting because while Bilbo's done some absolutely fucking astounding chaos kit bashes with lots of really intricate green stuff sculpting, I had a look at his Instagram like 2 days ago. He has less than 400 followers, which is a huge crime because I'm saying it now, we're going to feature him on our next kit bashes episode because his catalog of green stuff work is fucking incredible.
No, I agree. It's super happy to have him on the server sharing his awesome stuff.
Let's also have a look at this. This is Thibault's Vampire.
Our local Frenchman in the server, excluding me, that is. And
I don't count you as a person.
oh well.
You're only half French.
Oh, okay.
You're only half a man. You got no knees.
No, they're still here. I don't know what you're talking about. Should I be worried for tonight? Should I keep?
It's all an illusion.
Okay, 2 death threats in one video. Hey.
We've only just started.
That wasn't a death threat. That was an observation.
Ah, okay.
But this thing that Thibault's made is really cool. Now, Thibault has actually been a part of our Discord, another Discord that we run for over 2 years now. And it's really great to actually show off some of his bits. Just because normally, Thibault, I know you're listening to this, I'm terribly sorry, but normally when Thibault paints his miniatures, he drenches the fucking things in blood. Blood for the Blood God to the absolute nth degree. And so the first time he paints a model that I've seen that's not drenched in blood, it actually looks really fucking
And it's
good.
a vampire. If anything's going
I
to
was
be
just
drenched in blood, it's appropriately going to be a vampire.
Yeah. No, good on him for the restraint.
I really like the highlights on the cloth on this.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I paint miniatures, like one of the things I really like doing is highlighting cloth for some reason. And when I look at them, like the first thing in my eye notices is always like cloth and how it's highlighted. I really like it. Yeah.
No, it's really good. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all.
It really shows off Thibault was more talented than some people give him credit for.
Oh yeah.
If he can just if he can just put away the fucking pot of blood for the Blood God for 5 minutes.
we love Tibbs.
That's a strong word to use. I say tolerate.
But yeah, so like if you also want to have your minis showcased, we have this wonderful Discord server with a wonderful cast of people, and we pick and choose randomly or not randomly, somewhat democratically each recording, and please pop on over and post your minis for the love of chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Right, gentlemen, should we move on to our
Yes,
big
of
thing
course.
for this week's episode? So, as I mentioned in the opening, today we wanted to shine a spotlight on 5 different exceptional websites run by some very exceptional individuals to buy bits and models for kit bashing and adding your own flair to your homebrews, your armies, what have you. So this is all Warhammer 40k stuff. So there won't be any Age of Sigmar stuff today. Although I'm sure if you were really, really desperate, you could make that work.
Oh yeah, we got a few other things in the line.
Yes, well, like I said before, we do plan on making this a recurring episode because there are so many exceptional bit sites. When we were doing the planning for this yesterday, we realized there is no way we could fit all of them, all the ones we wanted to do in one episode or even 2 episodes. So we'll come back to this one and we'll give you more ideas of where to look for bits, sort of, in the uncharted future.
Anyway, the first one we have here is probably by far the greatest place to get third-party bodies. Is called none other than Tortuga Bay or Tortuga Game Stable, Tortuga Miniatures. Any one of those really works. Run by a gentleman called Henrik on Instagram. These guys I buy from them a lot, and I have nearly almost every single miniature they've produced just laying about. I have an entire bits box dedicated to just Tortuga bits. Anyway, these guys, if you haven't heard of them, they produce resin TrueScale bodies for Space Marines. They got this really cool little workflow where they 3D model it and they cast the resin mold and they sell the resin miniatures on that. And they have a whole variety of stuff, all the way from Thunder Warrior armor up to Mark 7 now, with robed variants, running variants, and even some new upgrade kits such as jetpacks, weapon arms, and a few character models. A few of these guys, they actually recently just came out with Indominus Terminator bodies. They now have all 3 sets of Terminators, all 3 of which I have, and they're amazing.
Well, not just all 3, because they actually have the their own version of the Saturnine Terminators.
Yeah, the rare Saturnine Terminators that are actually modeled after the Vulcanite or the Nocturnite Terminators from the Heresy novels.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and they look
I
really
even
good.
have one of them. They're huge and chunky. They're awesome.
Yeah, we actually saw a mini on the 8 Second Kit Badges episode where our wonderful friend Emmanuel of the Lions, the Green Stuff Eater himself, had used one of these.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
Also, if they also have there's also a bunch of themed special marks of armor, by the way, for anyone who likes a specific faction. They don't have all of them, I think, so far, but they are working on it. But they have Raven Guard, World Eaters, Iron Warriors. Did I already say Death Guard? I think I said Death Guard. And they got Salamanders too.
Don't forget Iron Warriors.
Yeah, I did say Iron Warriors.
Oh, don't forget Iron Hands.
No, I don't think they have any Iron Hands yet. Oh, they do have.
Ignore.
They do have.
Don't forget to ignore me.
They do have special bionic Mark II bodies. That's really cool. I have a couple of those. They have bionic legs and such.
I really want to get my hands on those. I want to use them so badly for my my Iron Hand successor chapter. Oof.
But one thing Tortuga does that I do not see anyone else really doing to the scale that they have done is they have an entire line of Thunder Warriors that are designed off of old old edition, old Hammer artwork, and they are to be used as custodian stand-ins. Like they have a Blade Champion version, they have Custodian Guard versions, Custodian Wardens, all decked out like Thunder Warriors. They even have a Trajan Valoris.
Yeah.
The big dude with the axe.
Yeah, and it's really fucking cool. I think just in case you're unaware of the Thunder Warriors or what they are, I'm sure you do know, but I'll say anyway. The Thunder Warriors were essentially the proto Space Marines, and they were stronger, faster, and more durable than Space Marines, but with the downside of being mentally unstable.
They were
to
more
the
like
extreme.
cheap custodians than proto Space Marines, but yeah, same concept.
Yeah. So they work perfectly as a proxy custodian force for sure.
And it's awesome. I have a full army of that, and they're super cool miniatures. By the way, like these things are like they're big and they're chunky. Like on the tabletop, they really have a presence on the board. It really shows like the size difference. They're not. These guys aren't quite the size. I mean, the Thunder Warriors are, but the rest of the bodies aren't quite the size of a Primaris, of course, because it's supposed to be quote unquote true scale. But they are noticeably bigger than the current GW Firstborns, and they also work with Firstborn kits. Like if you have an old Tactical Marine kit or a Mark IV kit or a Mark III kit, the arms, the heads, the backpacks, all that stuff fits perfectly on Tortuga bodies.
Well, that's one of the exceptional things about Tortuga that I'd want to mention, that actually Emmanuel mentioned in our last episode, and that was that all of these kits, or at least the vast majority of them, come in separated parts. So if you want one just for the legs or just for the torso or just for the head or what have you, you can do that. You can mix and match the individual kits, to your heart's content.
We should note that some of them are individual parts. They're currently working on getting the full range into having like separated parts, but like the robed variants, they're not separated just due to the nature of them wearing a robe. Has to be kind of seamless.
And I just want to point out one of my favorites real quick. I'm going to bring it up. I fucking love these. They call them the Mark 6-8 Destructor armor, and they are essentially somewhat based off of the Devastator armor, the Firstborn Devastator squad, with these really bulky sort of legs.
Yeah, they're just heavy armor.
I'm desperate to pick up some of these soon.
They even come with a little servo bird.
Yeah,
look at
that. You get your little servo bird with them too.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's I haven't had the opportunity to really play around with Tortuga Bay bits yet, but Red here kindly gifted me some Cataphracti Terminator bodies that I will thoroughly enjoy putting together with some Terminator bits and other shenanigans.
Red, are the ones you gave to Moots, are those the ones I gave to you?
I have a lot. I have a lot of those. I do not need more.
No, it's okay. It's just like I'm pretty sure you gave them to Moots within minutes of me gifting them to you.
No, we got back to the Airbnb in Heathrow after we left yours, and I looked at my shit. I was like, "Hey, Moots, you want these?" Oh wait, bring up the Turtle Terminators. That's one that we should mention. Yeah, this is like based off of a very first edition Terminator model. These guys look fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the actual lore behind this is quite interesting. There's some IRL lore behind these Terminators, the Saturnine Terminators, and the Indomitus Terminators, and that is that sometime 35 odd years ago, GW hired 3 separate sculpting artists to create a heavily armored Space Marine for them, to be used in their new, at the time, Space Hulk game. And those 3 were the ones that created. I'll find them. I'll put them on the screen now. There was someone created the original Saturnine, someone created the original turtle bodied Terminator, and someone created the original Indomitus Terminator. I can't remember their names, but I'll put those on the screen now as well, so credit to the artists who created them. And all of them but the Indomitus one got essentially backbenched for the best part of 30-odd years, with only weird kit bashes of the others being created. But Tortuga have lovingly created up-to-date, true-scaled, really badass versions of these different armors, and they look really great.
Well, shit. I had no idea about this. This is... You learn something new every day. Goddamn.
Look at that. We're not just entertainment.
Yeah.
We're education.
Hell yeah.
Don't do
Here
drugs
at
or do drugs. I'm not your boss.
But yeah, no, I can't rate Tortuga enough. They've even got little mechanical servitors as well to go alongside anything, I suppose. I don't know what they made
I
those
made
for,
them
but I kind of
in
love them.
response to Hellbrecht servitors.
They also have, we can't forget, they have a bunch of stuff, but the one thing we can't forget, they also have their own line of what is essentially their own kind of Imperial Guard models, which
It
are
should be
also
worth
excellent.
noting these are based off of the Ukraine army that is currently, because Tortuga is based in Ukraine, and unfortunately, if you follow the news, you know they're in a bit of a scuffle, to put things lightly, with Russia. So, you know, Henrik, in the whole time, the Tortuga Bay team has just been doing an awesome job, you know, like staying active and really dedicated themselves to you know, pushing forward their product, and they still make deliveries. Like, I've ordered from them like 5 or 6 times still, ever since, you know, that whole like debacle started. So they're really putting in an effort.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend you go show them some support and love. Though they are real champions through all this, honestly.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And there's one last thing I'd like to mention about Tortuga before we move on to our next one. They are extremely good value. We're talking about models that are in lots of ways as good as, if not better than, some of the GW stuff, but considerably less cost.
Definitely.
Assuming you buy in bulk and you don't mind about the shipping too much. I mean, the shipping's never really been that expensive, has it?
Yeah,
Though?
it does take a while, at least 2 weeks, to get to me, and I live in California. But keep in mind the whole Ukraine situation, shipping might, you know, be a bit varied.
Yeah, of course.
But honestly, yeah, they're super high quality products. They're super affordable and cheap, and their customer service is just really immaculate. Every time I email them about an issue or a question I have, they get back to me within that day, and they really put things forward that they want to, you know, help any issues that people.
Absolutely. I mean,
they're honestly greatest fucking place to go to get something like this for the hobby.
I mean, talking from my own experience, I ordered Terminators from them about a year ago, maybe a bit longer, maybe a bit less. I'm not sure, but about a year ago, and I was missing a single chest mount for the Terminators, and in response to that, I sent them an email, and they got back to me within 24 hours, and before I knew it, they'd shipped off a whole extra squad of Terminators to me.
Wow.
For no extra charge. It was incredible. Really good. Really amazing stuff. They're really wonderful.
Yeah.
Can't recommend them enough. Support Tortuga.
Yeah.
Support those guys. Shall we move on to the next one?
For sure.
So the next place we have lined up that we wanted to talk about briefly is a UK-based company called Anvil Industries. And Anvil are absolutely, to make a long story short, Anvil are absolutely unparalleled when it comes to creating custom guard regiments. I mean, they do a bunch of other stuff, but I really want to highlight the custom guard regiment stuff.
Yeah,
in
comparison, while Tortuga might be single-handedly the best third-party place for Marines, Anvil is their equivalent for the Imperial Guard.
Absolutely.
I haven't personally ordered from them, so I can't say, but I know Tom has gotten quite a few bits, but from what I've seen, they have an immense catalog that shames some other places, to be honest.
Well, I'm pretty sure Tom is the only one out of us who even owns any guards armies whatsoever.
Yeah, we're too busy on the fucking plain Jane Marine bandwagon over here.
Yep.
That's okay, guys. That's okay. I'm happy to talk for these things. So essentially, I sort of learned about Anvil a while ago when I wanted to make my own Kriegers for Kill Team, because I play quite a lot of Kill Team.
Nice.
And I picked up a bunch of bits from these guys. I'll show them on the screen now. They don't just sell this. I mean, you can see it on the screen now, this huge catalog of custom heads, all built to fit just fine. But they also sell weapon upgrades. We're talking Call of Duty style attachments that you can slap on your lasguns, your bolters, your everything, and they are really fucking cool. They're proper, they're scale appropriate. They cost almost nothing because they could upsell the price of these quite a bit, but they don't, and it's really really wonderful. I mean, I picked up what did I pick up? I picked up a bunch of different kinds of gun sight. And now all of my Kriegers, and I'll put a picture on the screen just now, all of my Kriegers have one of these little thermal scopes attached to their guns as well. And it's really, really cool. So when you hold them and you put them next to a las gun and you see the scale comparison, it's really, really awesome. But what they've also got that I want to mention quickly as well, if you come over to their regiments-infantry section, you can see on the left, and I'll put a screenshot of this as well, you can see a bunch of different, essentially aesthetics for guard or regular human fighters, ranging from essentially cyborgs to desert fighters, jungle fighters to chaos guard, you know, and the kind of things that would fit that.
I've also seen people use their bits for Necromunda, so.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Right. Well, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget they've got bits for Gene Stealers too. Gene Stealer, if you want to do a Gene Stealer guard.
Oh, shoot.
It really works. I also know they've got some stuff that I believe are for Sisters of Battle, which I'm due to check out, but I haven't spent a lot of time looking at them. But again, that's another thing that's worth your time considering if you're making your own Sisters force. I forgot what the different Sisters armies are called.
I know, like, there's the Order of the Different
Sacred
Orders
Rose
or something. Or the Our Martyred Lady is another one.
Whatever they're called. You know, your
I
different sister factions. That, you know, definitely have a look here as well. You're the nuns with guns, yes. You know, they're really cool. Different heads, different arms, different torsos as well. You know, if you're not a huge fan of super in-your-face boob armor, you've got alternatives here that will work just fine.
Fucking
you know?
Bless not the boob armor plates. Hell
honestly, doing the God Emperor's work here.
You know, custom backpacks. The custom backpacks of the Sisters are awesome as well. I've just looked at them. They're actually really cool. I'm going to put some on the screen too.
Well, it's
really
funny
like
this
them.
because I mostly knew Anvil Industry for their Sister Battle stuff, and it's actually one of the it's because of them that I've been kind of tempted to build a Sisters of Battle army, but or maybe a kill team of some sort.
And novitiate kill team might
really
be the best option.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting that you say that because I had the same thought literally earlier today. That I thought I might do a Sisters kill team because you've got the novitiates and you've got the ecclesiarchy kill teams, which are both Sisters kill teams. And so between the two of them, you can do almost anything you want.
Okay.
You know, but they also do weapons, individual weapons for individual models. And we're talking weapons that can fit Space Marines, that can fit Guardsmen, that can fit Sisters. Attachments like spare ammo packs. You can get so tactical with all the different things. They've got muzzle flare effects, silencers.
Cool.
One thing that really caught my eye when I was browsing their catalog before is that they have a really cool low-key storm bolter that its profile looks like a small bolter, not a small bolter, but it just looks like a normal bolter. But at the front, you can see that the body where the barrel is widened to fit another barrel, and it's like so low key that you almost don't register it, but once you look at it, it looks good. It looks like way more realistic in terms of how a gun would probably operate like that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really they're really worth your time if you are doing a custom anything. Even if you don't buy anything from them, they're still worth looking at because I remember before I even considered doing the Kriegers army, I had visited this site maybe once or twice, just in passing. And it does inspire you to want to do those armies when you realize just how unique you can make them yourself with just this website alone. You don't even need to buy from anywhere else, you know?
Yeah. Great place to fight. Great place to get all your Imperial Guard needs. They do have not Space Marines, but I gotta say that's not really the main appeal of their catalog.
Yeah, they're not Space Marines are okay.
It looks more like to be honest, it looks like just like generic sci-fi man.
I mean,
There's nothing
there's nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with
that.
that, mind you, and they do have a whole subsection of bionic arms and hands that you can use for Space Marines very easily.
Oh,
That are
really?
very
What the hell?
cool.
I've missed this.
Yep, they're absolutely worth your time.
Oh, that's very cool. All right. Well, I learned something more today. I am getting learned today. Woo.
You are. I believe they also do STLs as well, if you're into that. Gentlemen, should we talk about the one and
Of
only
course.
Laserforge?
Definitely
This is
should.
yet another really great site to get stuff off, especially if you're an Iron Hands fan or just a fan of
Yeah.
that heavy
Yes.
mechanized aesthetic that some chapters get. This, as a disclaimer, they do sell you physical miniatures, but they are exclusively 3D printed miniatures. So, and I know
Yeah.
some people who might have experience with 3D resin know how sometimes resin can be a bit aggravating to work with. And I have to say, I've ordered their big dreadnought before. It's called the Forgeborn Ancient Dreadnought in their catalog. Uh, and they're really good kits. They're super modular with how you can build and pose them. Like the legs are all in different joints. They have a few variants with special weapons. One that just looks like a really big tech marine,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Hmm.
As a big crane claw. With one caveat, I will say that I did not like a little bit, but it's a small one that doesn't break the bank for me or anything. It's the resin that they use can be a bit brittle if you mishandle it wrong, because when I had my big dreadnought, I posed the leg wrong, and I super glued it already, and I was trying to like take it apart again, but instead of like the joint where the super glue broke, the knee just split in half, and I was kind
Yeah.
of forced to keep it in the position by gluing it back together. That's just how some 3D printed resin acts, and it's like the only real negative thing I have about them.
Well, on a similar note, when I ordered the Forgeborn Dreadnought from them, it arrived with one of its Gatling cannons a little bit scuffed, and I immediately took a picture. I sent it to the guy running Laserforge, and again, this was quite a while ago now, but I sent him a picture of it, and he sent me a new one very, very quickly. To my knowledge, Laserforge is run by one or two guys out of the UK. In fact, the first time I heard about Laserforge, they were it was just a site that sold bits. Since then, it has actually turned into a wholesale tabletop gaming store. You can buy actual Warhammer 40k miniatures by Games Workshop and other tabletop games actually straight from the Laserforge
Oh.
Miniatures site. So you could use this site for everything if you really
It
felt
should, it
compelled.
should also be a thing that you know, along with that dreadnought, the dreadnought's not the only thing that they have. They have Terminators that are like the Gorgon Terminators from
Yep.
the Iron Hands. They have special variants of the same dreadnought to count as other variants. Like the
Yep.
Forgeborn Ancient is supposed to be the Redemptor, but they have one that's supposed to be a Darrow. They have a Forge Marine or a Tech Marine and Terminator armor, and they have vehicles even. Not a lot of people do vehicles.
Their vehicles are very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like their vehicles a lot.
Yeah.
No,
Same
you're right.
here.
I want to go back to that Derrideo one. I love that Derrideo proxy that they do so much. It looks so modern in the right way. I mean, sometimes 40k dithers on being too modern, and people have a problem with that. But this is that done in all the right ways. One of the other things
Is
about
that tank armor I see on it?
Laserforge that
Hmm. Hmm.
yes, it is. One of the other things about Laserforge we can't ignore as well is their sort of upgrades for Iron Hands style
Oh yeah.
chapters, especially their upgrade for the Redemptor kit. Actually, for the Redemptor kit, you might have seen this floating around somewhere. I'll post a picture on it now. It's
It
absolutely
looks
brutal.
terrifying,
I love
honestly.
Ooh, it's lovely. I fucking love the grabby hands coming out of the hand,
Absolutely, yeah.
the belly of it. It's
They also sell posable bionic arms, so that's a niche that nowhere's really filling quite as well as them at the moment. So if you wanted your entire squad to be bionicified, you could do that. They do posable bionic legs. I've had some trouble
I've
with
had
them,
trouble
but they're
with
not
them too.
bad.
But I'm sure if you have enough patience and you're talented enough, you can make them work.
Absolutely. I do not have enough patience.
The weird thing about the way they print the things out, I have issue with like their bigger models like breaking like glass almost, but the smaller stuff like the swords, axes, and shields, which I also have, are pretty durable at that size.
Well, it
Yeah.
mostly comes down to the resin that's being used.
Yeah.
I have the same issue with my own 3D printer.
I actually just
Or,
remembered I have all
Yeah.
those swords. I should just probably start using them again.
but yeah, it's good shit. I've been meaning to well, looking at getting into some of their Bionicle, that's a wrong franchise, but Bionic stuff.
You're right. We would have a better fan base if they had Bionicle lore in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, fucking, what were you saying about the Nui isn't canon to to 40K?
I'm
What's
just
this word
wait.
saying?
I'm just saying. Like I think Matsnui might be a missing Primarch. That's all I'm gonna say.
Missing Primarch. He is the Emperor, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's what happened when Horus like KO'd him and he got put on the throne. His consciousness went to the Bionicle universe where he became Matanui and had a much better time.
Gilliman, you are the Toa of light.
Oh my god! Someone make this crossover happen.
If only we knew an artist that was talented enough to get this through.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know anyone.
Yeah, me neither.
Laserforge are really great, especially for Iron Hand stuff. They do everything. They have an in-person store that you can visit in Lancashire. I'll put the address on the screen now. You can go see them in person if you live in Lancashire. They are really, really exceptional. They are
If
open.
you live in the States, be prepared for waiting a while because they print the things out fresh for you, and it took them a while to get the bits I ordered to me. While Laserforge might be the great 3D place for Iron Hands fans, we're going to talk about Archie's Forge, which is probably the quintessential place to go if you're a Black Templar fan. Because these guys, while they don't design STLs or anything, they definitely have a large catalog collected of STLs. They talk to a bunch of these guys who produce these, and they sell a whole bunch of different 3D printed parts. Most notably, their Black Templar range, which is fucking massive. I, as a Black Templar fan, with my, discount Templars known as the Iron Templars, I have bought from them more times than I can count. And it is just immense. And it is always growing. Every time I go back to this website, Archie has always added something new to it. Weapons, little upgrade bits, tilt shields, hammers, shields, dreadnought upgrades.
Yeah.
I have my Forgeborn Ancient I got from Laserforge is holding a hammer printed by Archie.
Yeah, the Mad Lads just keeps producing new stuff all the time. I'm like, I don't know how he has time to do any of this, honestly, but...
But disclaimer, Archie isn't the person who made this stuff. He's just a reseller of it. He has permission, as far as I know, from the people. But like, if you're looking for an STL, he's STL that you want to see physical. Archie's Forge is probably the first place you should look because they don't just have Black Templar stuff. They have all the special. Legion factions, from Grey Knights.
If you go to their homepage, the first thing you'll see is their Black Templars conversion pass. But as soon as you go down, you'll actually see that they do stuff for everything from the Dark Angels, Minotaurs, all the second founding successors. So all the first founding chapters. No, they are second founding. Oh, I didn't even know. All the original legions, and the Chaos ones too. They do have some of their stuff for the Iron Warriors, particularly the helmets they do. Shoulders even, I think are really good. Well, actually, and the helmets too. So definitely check Archie's Forge out. I've spoken to him once or twice. You can get a hold of him on Discord as well. If you want to speak to him, he's really personable. He might not reply instantly, but he's really personable, really great. I think all three of us have used him in the past.
I have 2 buckets, basically buckets full of bits I've gotten from Archie's Forge.
Yeah, I've got... I bought
it's honestly a great place to go for themed conversions.
Absolutely. I got a bunch of Beaky helmets from him a while ago, and I bought a bunch of Grey Knight stuff from him a while ago. His Grey Knight stuff is so good. I got some TrueScale Greynite bits to make some TrueScale Greynites. I'll put those on the screen now as well because I love them so much. In fact, actually, to be fair, talk about Black Templars and all the other stuff. He is the go-to place if you want TrueScale Greynites. His Greynite legs to extend the height of your Greynites and make them look TrueScale is absolutely unmatched. They're really, really amazing.
I'm unsure. I don't think I have anything from Archie's Forge, but I mean, I'm very tempted to, or I've been tempted many times. It's unfortunately the student budget does not allow it.
I actually have to stop myself from looking at his website because every time I go there, I usually end up buying something. It's really hard not to.
Yeah.
Oh, and like capes also.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone else really sell the capes.
I was about to say the capes. His range of crepes.
His range of crepes.
Are
Don't you
amazing.
dare say he's French. He's too good.
Fucking French national anthem starts playing.
His terges and loincloths too are great. There's a helmet for everything in here. There's even some Star Wars stuff in here if you feel that way compelled.
Oh, those fucking power fists. They're fucking awesome.
He's on Instagram. All these guys are on Instagram. But yeah, if you wanna, they also sell Dreadnought cannon things.
Yeah, for the now missing Castroferum.
Yeah, if you want to put some, if you wanted some action, if you're bummed out that the Castaferum's gone and you only left with that new dumpty new Dreadnought and you want more weapon options, go to Archie's Forge. He has some cool parts that could be modular on Redemptor Dreadnoughts. That if you work around it, you can probably try and like feel the same feeling you had with the Castaferum.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, you can still get at least at the time of this recording, you can still buy the venerable Castroferum. And so if you wanted to do something funky with that and the stuff from his place as well, it's great. He's got stuff that's specifically for Gravis too, I want to mention. Gravis helmets and Gravis scale shoulders as well, which are really cool.
Oh, and Gravis backpacks as well.
Lots of custom heads too, and Gravis backpacks, and custom Gravis heads too. Custom Space Marine heads too. You've got this set, which I'll bring up on the screen now, which everyone has seen, which you've got Titus, this guy, Obi-Wan Kenobi, John Wick, and Geralt. I don't know who this guy is in the middle, though. I feel bad. I should know, but I don't.
That's John Warhammer.
We found him. We fucking got him.
It's a grizzled face. Maybe his name is, I don't know, Greg.
Greg it is. And so yeah. Archie's Forge, amazing, UK-based, relatively quick, excellent quality, huge range, great for Black Templars, great for Space Marines in general. Yeah.
Sounds pretty spot on.
And the last one I wanted to talk about is a website called TrueScaleHeresy.
Which, in conjunction
more Space Marine stuff.
Is a place to sell Bolter Jurgens. Is it Jurgen? Bolter Jurgens STLs? If you don't know, Bolter Jurgen is a guy who has gone and modeled a bunch of armor marks in his own style, for all the way from Mark II all the way up to Mark VII now, just like Archie's Forge. And they're STLs. They're up on Colts 3D, so if you have a printer, you can pick them up yourselves and print them. He's also done weapon upgrades and Terminators himself. And he doesn't. And specifically, TrueScaleHeresy is an American retailer. I'm sure you can ship out of states as well. So if you have the money, you can probably pay for that. But he doesn't just sell the bodies. He sells full kits, like full squads.
To be a bit specific, when you find the Bolter Jugend on Instagram, he links to a couple of different places where you can sell his stuff through sanctioned traders. So there's US, UK, and Australia.
Oh wow!
And EU, France, even. Oh, and fucking EU Germany as well. Oh shit.
well, I can attest to how those websites go. I've personally ordered from TrueScaleHeresy quite a few times. I've picked up the Mark III, the Mark IV, and some Indominus Terminators.
Yeah.
And every time, like, you get options of how tall you want them to be printed. Like, he gives you, like, you want printed in Age of Darkness scale, Primaris scale, or full 100% scale, which is a little bit taller than a Primaris.
Yeah,
and
super fucking customizable.
Like these guys, yeah, they're super modular. And these guys have that really heavy, like, inhuman look that you see in a lot of Astartes art.
Yeah.
They're not quite the same physique as, Primaris, because Primaris are hero scaled, right? They got kind of like that heroic action hero physiology to them. But with Bolterjurgen stuff,
Yeah.
it's just straight barrel chest, just a huge monster of a man inside armor.
Yeah, they look absolutely fucking menacing.
In fact, the best thing I can compare them to visually is if you've seen the Astartes animation, they are eerily similar to the scale that is used in that animation.
Yeah.
This just sort of tank-like armor that these men run around in. It's really, really good. And he doesn't just sell the armor marks. You've got jump packs, you've got weapons, different
You have
marks of
shoulder pads
weapon.
to designate squads. I don't see a lot of people doing that. And if you do go to TrueScaleHeresy, by the way, and he doesn't have something that Bolterjurgen has on his Colts 3D, just email him. I've emailed him before about Indominus Terminators when they weren't on his website, and he told me, yeah, I have those. Would you like some? And me and him had a back and forth where he sent me a PayPal bill, and I paid it, and he printed them out and sent them to me. And he is super fast in the States, at least I know that. Like, as soon as I order from him, I can expect them within like 5 days to next week. It's amazing how fast this guy works, and he's super friendly to talk to. And if you have a request for him, specifically TrueScaleHeresy, just email him and he'll work on it with you.
That's the best thing about, to be fair, all of these guys, except for Anvil, although only because I haven't tried it with Anvil. But all of these guys we've mentioned, all of these stores we've mentioned today, every single one of them has absolutely stellar customer service. The ability to send them an email, send them a message, send them a ping on Discord or what have you, get a response pretty quickly, and have a chain of dialogue with them to get what you want.
For sure.
And I think that's what makes these guys some of the best, and why we wanted to feature these guys on our first episode doing this particular topic. I mean, when we come back and do this episode again in a few weeks, we'll have even more to show you for guys who specialize in other things. I know that there's a couple bits places out there that specialize in Imperial Knight stuff, and we were going to show them today, but we realized that we could do a whole video just on those. So we'll do those another time.
Yeah.
But I think that's a common theme with these really good bits retailers, and that's that they are more than happy to open that line of dialogue with you to find out how they can help and what is best going to suit the custom force that you're making, And all of them look brilliant side by side with Games Workshop miniatures that you already own.
I've personally ordered from all these, except Anvil Industries, mainly because I don't do Imperial Guard. But I've ordered from Tortuga, Laserforge, Archie's Forge, and I've combined those bits together actually, and it's really fun to see how all of them. I'll have Tom post a bunch of the stuff I've made from them on the screen, but
I'll post them. I'll post them throughout when they come up. I'm gonna have so much fun fishing for the images to use for this video because for this podcast, because there are so many great examples of bits from these retailers being used.
Each are designed, if you have a specific theme on how you want your army to look, it's great. It's honestly, like, these types of retailers are the reason why the hobby is so good to get into, because they give you such wonderful options to make something truly your own.
Absolutely.
You're not just wearing a bunch of Primaris Ultramarines, Put some personality in your force. Go to these places, support them, show them some love.
I got to ask Red, because you've obviously got the most experience with these. Out of the five, who's your favorite?
Tortuga, definitely.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, no, it's
easy choice.
I like all of these, honestly, but I personal preference, I love Tortugas.
I mean, they all do different things, don't they? To an extent. So, like,
they all do different things, and it's honestly took me a second, but I've ordered from Tortuga, was honestly like some of the first third-party bits I've gotten, and ever since then, just I've been hooked to their whole design theme, because they have such a wide variety of bodies and looks that could really help uniform your army. Like, I'm working on an army project for my own homebrew, the Storm Engines, and having running Mark 7s be like Vanguard veterans. Then I have a tactical squad of Mark 7s, and I have robed Mark 7s to be Stern Guard veterans, even with the added Indomitus Terminators to have some Terminator options. It's awesome, and having them all look, you know, in line and in theme with each other, and not having them their design philosophy be everywhere. It's great. That's how big Tortuga's catalog is. You can have a full blown army with a lot of options in their own unique looks, but still like that baseline, they all look the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talking about Tortuga again, from my experience, because I own a bunch of the Tortuga Cataphractes, putting them next to, painting them up in the same color scheme as my homebrew and putting them on the tabletop to play games alongside my homebrew is absolutely amazing. They do not look even remotely out of place for a second. The Tortuga stuff vibes so well with the already established stuff. It's very hard to criticize them at all. You know, I mean, if we take a look,
the only thing I'd ever criticize
about
about Tortuga is they took forever to release Indominus Terminators. But I can understand. They have more important things going on right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, despite that, their catalog is so massive. They've got something that fits every single vibe. I mean, if you take a look at Bolter Jurgen's stuff, his stuff is incredible. It's absolutely astounding how massive and how strong they are. They do stick out a little bit from normal stuff, not in a bad way, in a, hey, look at me, I'm fucking massive, and they fit the Space Marine vibe. They look how I believe Space Marines would look if they were real. But Tortuga stuff, there isn't a single Tortuga mini that you can't paint up and put next to your own minis and it not look like it belongs. They all are perfect with the aesthetic. They respect the old models that they take inspiration from so carefully that I just can't recommend them enough. You know, even their characters. Shit, we need to talk about their character
lineups. It's insane.
They have a huge lineup of Dark Angel stuff. By the way, if you're a Dark Angels fan, I know a lot of not a lot, but I know a few Dark Angels fans talk about how there's not a lot of third-party options for Dark Angels, but Tortuga does a really good job.
Tortuga's got you covered.
Tortuga's got you covered. I recently sent a bunch of my Dark Angel Tortuga bodies, but I didn't know what I was going to do with them, to Revi, Tom's girlfriend, and she loved them, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no, she's really happy with them. Really happy with them. They've got so much good Dark Angel stuff. And now's as good a time, with the release of the line, now's as good a time as any to start working on Dark Angels. And if you want some really fucking cool Dark Angels to go alongside your freshly awoken Primarch, this is the first stop you should look at. Really,
Cataphracti themed Dark Angel thing. He just looks huge.
Yeah,
they even themed some of the Saturnine ones to fit Dark Angels as well, which is amazing.
I love the V4 armor. That shit is so nice.
It's honestly one of those things that makes me kind of like Dark Angels, because they really grab the aesthetic of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame, really, but because GW doesn't seem to grasp their own aesthetic. But that's why it's so wonderful to have these third-party websites that can really deliver.
Well, if GW is going to leave a hole in the market, I can't think of any individuals more I'd like to fill it than these guys.
Definitely.
You know, they're really incredible.
And they're slowly moving towards releasing full-on kits, so you wouldn't have to keep out with official GW stuff.
Yes, they'll start releasing arms and guns and things as well, yeah.
It seems like we are reaching the end of this wonderful tale.
And you're reaching your end, Moots.
No! Well, there's been two or one. He read claims there's only been one, but there's been two threats to our lives this episode.
Yeah, well, I'm going to open this pipe bomb shaped package as soon as we stop recording.
Excellent.
If I make it to the next episode, we know it was a dud. I'm hoping it's a dud, but we'll find out.
You said it was a pipe bomb. It could be a chemical bomb. It's asbestos. You got cancer, asshole.
Fuck off.
In like 7 to 8 years. Good luck, fucker.
I play in the long game.
Wait.
I'll rinse this podcast for all it's worth before I fucking keel over and die, you
Red,
bitch.
Are you behind my cancer?
Yes, this strange affliction that you've had before we've even known of each other's existence. It was I, Moots. I used the Speed Force and gave you cancer.
Oh no.
Abdominus Nox, fucker!
Bonsoir mes chéris, comment ça va? I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like the podcast and you want to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to like and comment. Oh, and while you're at it, feel free to follow us on our social medias, like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Finally, join us over at our Discord and talk with me and the other free gits. Alright then, please take care and see you next time.